Dzień dobry, YouTube. Witamy to another episode of Atticus Eats. My dear friends, you have asked and you shall now receive, and I'm very excited to be able to partake in this. It is absolutely without a doubt chili season. It's in full swing here. We've got this wonderful cooling effect going on in Southern California. All day yesterday, it was overcast. It was drizzly. When I left the house this morning, it was only 66 degrees. Oh my word, my dear friends, the time is, upon us. Oh my goodness, friends, the time is upon us for autumn. And we are going to continue with that because since it's chilly weather, that means it's chilly weather. My dear friends, this was actually very funny. So, number one, I thought it's really cool that they have a spooky promo going on where you're wanting to aid kids, I think it's who are in adoption homes, be able to have books that they can read. Now, granted, they need to be quality books, but we'll keep our fingers crossed that they are. But I thought it was really cool that they were running a promo on the little Frosty thing in there, and then it's this spooky, spooktastic, whatever. I thought that was really cool, and you can get like Frosty tokens, but I thought it was funny because they were showing a mummified Frosty and it had not only a spoon but a french fry as well, so they're acknowledging that the proper way to eat a Frosty is with french fries being dipped into it. I thought that was super cool. Has nothing to do with what we're doing today, but that was my squirrel moment while I was in there, and I wanted to start by sharing that with you all. But my dear friends, before I open the bag, I thought it was funny. This is about Wednesday, the show on Netflix. Yeah, that's what it says here on the side. And they have Wendy's being partnered with Netflix and Wednesday to like do promotional stuff, right? For a second there, I was like, oh gosh, this again. And then I read the bag because I was seeing there's nothing happy about this meal on the bag. And I sat back and I was like, oh, come on, enough with this, black, emo, dark, goth thing. But then it hit me, wait a minute, this is a jab at McDonald's. And then it made me chortle. So I was like, okay, that's funny. We'll talk about that in the video now. That'll be there. But oh my word, you guys, spoon in hand, boom, we have a small cup of Wendy's chili. The one, the only, the traditional, the classic. It was so funny. I've had so many people make references to Wendy's chili this week. Not only, actually it was last week and this week, because that's why it was in my head when I brought it up with you guys in the bullpen video, last video. I've had my favorite YouTuber mention Wendy's chili and how that was always something that he loved. I've had community members of my Twitch community mention that they were having chili and like baked potatoes and baconators and stuff from Wendy's while they were watching my stream. So shout out to you, Suitable Jinx, you planted a seed. That's one of my friends in the community. But holy guacamole, my friends. The lady was so nice about it. So nice to me whilst I was in there. And was asking me, do you want crackers? Do you want onions? Do you want cheese in your chili? I told her no onions just because I didn't want large chunks of onion in my chili. But I did have her put cheese in it. Right there. Bona fide. Ready to go. We're going to give this a gentle stir. And get all those intestinal clogging attributes well mixed. It looks like we do have our ground beef in here, which I believe the story and the origin of it is that they used ground up hamburger patties in their chili, and that was kind of the start of it. And I think that's brilliant. I think that was a brilliant means even back in the day of like, hey, let's have use for whatever these hamburgers are that either we can't sell or whatever, but they're still good. And what I love about this is still a very hearty chili. We've got beans in here. We've got peppers. It smells amazing, and I remembered this smell from back in the day when I would eat inside Wendy's with my family, and different people would get chili, and I remember the odor. So this is really cool. I do have to say, this is going to be the first time that I've actually sat and eaten a Wendy's cup of chili in many moons, which is very exciting. Now, the other cool thing, though, which I want to make sure I'm grabbing correctly. No way. No, they all fell out in the bag. Okay, fine, be that way. They gave me a very generous, healthy portion of Wendy's fries, but half of them just fell out in the bag now. Gravity strikes again! Why? No, this is funny. So we do have fries this time to pair with our chili, unlike at the bullpen. So I'm very excited about that. We're gonna have to reach into my secondary bag. It's not a tertiary bag, it's a secondary bag. These are piping hot, fresh. Let's go. Oh yeah. Wendy's fries for the win. I just smeared chili on my windshield. I'll need to Windex that later. But, oh yeah. Yes. With that little bit of stringy, ooey gooey, cheesy. Delicious. Yes, please, thank you. I need to put that in my lap if I'm gonna do this. Quick clean. Oh, there we go, perfect. The napkin's only just smeared and made it worse. That's wonderful, and that's right where my eyeline is. That's fine, that's totally fine. Listen, improvise, adapt, and overcome, as they say. This is exciting, this is cool. It's already very appetizing to the palate. I love being able to dip fries in chili and just enjoy the goodness that is. Especially in the cool weather. I loved hearing all of your comments, by the way, of fond memories that you all have with chili. Everyone from people in Ohio, to you people in Texas, to you people in Tennessee. I love hearing your own culinary adventures. And being able to share your memories of your families growing up. We need more of that in the world. Because those are real memories, in my opinion. Not just apps on a screen. I'm all like hyper fixated on making sure I get the fries out of the bag first. And then continuing on. But dipping the fries in the chili, oh my word. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. Oh my word, yes. We'll get a couple more of these in us, then we'll get a couple bites in of the chili. Either commit, stay on, or go off. Had a cheese ball. That one didn't know if it wanted to go with me or stay in the bowl. That's funny. They cooked the fries perfectly today. Crispy, crunchy on the outside. Soft and fluffy on the inside. Not over-salted, but not under-salted either. Let's get a big yes over that. Oh my word. Here we go, friends. Nezdrovia. I forgot to say that when I was eating the fries because I got all focused on how they leapt out of the container on me. But Nezdrovia. Oh. Dudes. This chili... So this whole meal was infinitely cheaper than the bullpen. This cup of chili, I want to say, was maybe $5 and change. Not even that. It was, because it's a small chili. I think it might have been $4 and change. Yeah, it was. And then I got a fry, but I have the Wendy's app. And there's an offer going on where you can get a free any size fry with a purchase. So here's the purchase. So I got a free medium fry. So this meal was $4 and change, compared to $14 and change for less food at the bullpen. And I need to say, maybe I have cheap taste. Ladies, I'm a cheap date. But this whole thing is way, 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 way better than the bullpen. 100%. 100%. This is way better. And there's still little bits of onion in here. There's still little bits of tomato. But it's exactly how I like it. Enough mass where it's a good bite. And it feels like a hearty chili. It's not a paste. But it's not so giant where you have these chunks of things that you have to fight through. And the meat is perfect because it's not grizzly. I know it's ground beef. I don't care. My mom would make chili was ground turkey most of the time. I loved it that way. It didn't have an unpleasant texture. I didn't have to bite through big marbles of fat or grizzle. This is outstanding, you guys. I know so many of you were saying, hey, yes, go get the Wendy's chili. Do you guys like Wendy's chili? Do you like it with all the fixings? Do you like it slightly modified? Tell me. The cheese is real. Okay, so guys, it's kind of official now. I like Wendy's chili way more than bullpen chili. Again, it is humorous because if you couldn't figure out that I'm a person I am a person of taste, but I love the simple things in life, and they do coincide with each other when it comes to food or drink or, you know, just enjoying birdsong or music or whatever. Hopefully that's like painfully evident now. The bullpen chili, if that's your kind of thing, great. But man, everything from texture to temperature to taste, everything about this Wendy's chili far surpassed bullpen chili. And remember, we're not rating a restaurant as a whole, we're rating chili, comparing the two, right? And let me tell you what, you guys, simple is sometimes the better course of action. Like, even for me in real life, I love saltine crackers, the low salt ones, as a snack. My mom does too. You know what I mean? I enjoy Ritz crackers with peanut butter on them, you know? I love putting Oreo cookies in milk with a spoon. That to me is living it up. That to me is like enjoying life, you know? And we have to enjoy the little things. And this is actually a really good segue into my next topic, which is, you know, speaking on innocence. And I was talking about this with some friends at church yesterday, and we were speaking about the profoundness of how many of us, and me and these couple of friends specifically, have gone through a lot in our lives. Medically, situationally, we've had a lot inflicted on us by other people, etc. And that God wants there to be innocence. And the only way that we can maintain or receive back innocence that was lost is through Him. And I know I might sound like I'm Bible thumping now, but it is a topic that is important, I think, to say, and I want to be a voice for the truth. I love hearing from all of you amazing people who watch these videos and say, I so look forward to seeing your videos because they give me encouragement, or you're speaking truth that I needed validation in, or you bring me peace. And if that's something that I can achieve, as you all have known and I've stated many different times, that to me is more than a job well done, and is very much a blessing to me. And ironically too, I was going to say how we need to have a return to innocence, and then the Enigma song played in my head, which is awesome. But my dear friends, let's go ahead and address an awesome YouTube comment question that's very timely and is very pertinent, especially because, you know, in here we've got the Wednesday stuff and the Halloween stuff and whatever. So Really great question, once again posed by Tammy Hunt here on YouTube in the comment section. She asks, Atticus, what is your perspective on Halloween as a holiday? So, my dear friends, I am a person who, as I mention and make mention many different times, my mom enriched my childhood to the nth degree, in the absolute best ways possible. And what I love is that my mom really wanted to create for me a very innocent, protected world. I don't mean sheltered, I mean protected. There was reality, there was still the real world around us, we still had challenges we had to face, but my mom wanted to pour into me wisdom and joy and peacefulness, calmness, which is definitely something that with the modern age, you know, we're being ripped out of. And so for me, I'm very grateful because my perspective on the Halloween holiday when I was little was infinitely different than the way it is now. Halloween for me when I was growing up was very much just like a costume party. And my mom would have different means of being creative and a little bit creepy, a little bit eerie, but it wasn't evil by any stretch of the imagination. Like, there'd be very cartoony skeletons as decorations. Or my mom would have fruit punch in an IV bag, right? And she put like these cool spiders on cupcakes. And actually, I should preface that with, I was in Cub Scouts growing up. And when I was in Cub Scouts, I absolutely loved it. It was one of the times of my life in my years prior to the middle. And I loved the friendships that I got to make, and it was something I could look forward to every week. It was a social outlet, and yet it was still a very educational one. Cub Scouts was not about a lot of high adventure and camping and like, oh yeah, push your body to the limit and all this other stuff. Cub Scouts was actually more of education and respect for nature, the environment, our communities, etc. And I'm really happy that that's what it was. I had an outstanding scoutmaster, and he really engaged with the different parents. And my mom was the coolest snack lady. The parents would trade off on the snacks every week. And man, most of the time, dude, it would be like Doritos chips and apple juice, or cookies and Capri Sun for the parents. Then my mom would come along, and she would do stuff that would be themed for whatever holiday it was, whatever time of year she would sign up for stuff. My mom did everything from make a beautiful Christmas lake scene with a cake train that the kids could cut into and have pieces, to what I was just talking about, where it was like fruit punch that looked like blood in an IV bag, and it was actually workable. It was a food grade thing that she had found where you could spray the fruit punch into a cup through the IV bag, and it was so wicked cool. And then she made these spiders on top of these cupcakes and gave them like little red eyes and a blood frosting that was on them, like they were drinking blood. It was so ridiculously cool. And then the other side of it that I really loved about my Halloween experiences growing up were that I was able to do trunk-or-treating. Trick-or-treating always seemed dangerous to me. It always seemed scary to me. I never wanted to partake in it. My mom didn't either. Matter of fact, when my mom was younger with my brother when he was young, and this is years ago when everything was, in theory, more safe, dude, my mom actually got hurt a couple times going trick-or-treating, and it was all caused by other people being buttholes. And so, never liked that, never wanted to pursue that. It was not something that we wanted. But then Cub Scouts, local community center, small town, it was only the people in the troop. All the parents had to decorate the trunks of their vehicles to be something Halloween-y, and then they would give out candy. And then, you know, we as the kids, we could be dressed up in our costumes and go around and trunk or treat. It was awesome. I got to be with my friends. It was such an amazing experience. I remember one year distinctively, I was a knight in a costume that my mom made for me. And that was because I liked the movie Kingdom of Heaven, so I was actually a Crusader knight. And my mom actually did a papier-mâché helmet because I wanted it to be the helmet that matched in the movie. And then she made me like homemade chainmail out of this fabric that she found and all this other stuff. And then that very same year, I was friends with these two twin guys who were the sons of the Scoutmaster. They were my age. And one of them dressed up as a Chiquita banana, complete with his face being painted as the Blue Label. And then my other friend dressed up as Napoleon Dynamite. And that was such an amazing experience. And actually, we had a small trailer that we used for hauling hay and stuff like that. And my mom's design was she turned it into the opening scene of Indiana Jones. So she made a papier-mâché fertility totem idol, whatever that thing was. And she found gummy centipedes. That was the candy that was given out at the end. So they would go in and grab it. But what the best part was, 3 of the kids that year dressed up as Indiana Jones. So they went in there and they took their time and reenacted it to the nth degree. And those are the experiences, man. Those are the enriching experiences that kids need these days away from a phone. I know that that's something that I'm beating the drum for, and I'm on the soapbox for a lot recently. But guys, I love these memories. I cherish these memories. Now, digressing from that was an innocent presentation of Halloween. Nowadays, I absolutely despise Halloween. I'll be honest, I've always despised Halloween. Those memories that I've given are the exception to the rule. It is a situation where everybody uses it as an excuse to be cultic, to be demonic, to be evil, and like perpetuate evil. It's ugly. It's witchcraft. It's very occultish now. The movies that are coming out, it's no longer just the Wolfman or Frankenstein. Now we're looking at really freaking ugly, evil movies that perpetuate this idea. You know, I could go on and on, but let me just say too, especially being in California, I've seen some of the worst of it, and I despise it. So for me personally, I don't celebrate Halloween. I just don't. I love harvest. I love harvest season. October 31st is just another day to me. I don't celebrate it. I don't engage with it. I want to be able to have pumpkins out that are just beautiful pumpkins, not cut up into jack-o'-lanterns. I like being able to see turkeys and pilgrims and little scarecrows, you know what I mean? And by scarecrows, I mean the innocent ones you get from Hobby Lobby. You know, being able to see Native American dried corn, you know, or things of that ilk, you know, red maple leaves, golden birch leaves. That to me is what I love and what I celebrate about the autumn time of year. I just skip over Halloween and head straight into Thanksgiving, and which is really supposed to be an attitude for life. And so absolutely love this time of year for all the right reasons. I think that the more we can get away from Halloween, the better. Because I actually heard this. So, Mom and I, we love watching good TV shows. We love watching good movies, etc. I've brought that up many times before. And something that we particularly love is we've gotten into the show Landman, which was written by Taylor Sheridan. And I brought this up on stream. And because we enjoyed Landman so much, we actually are going back and we're watching Yellowstone and the Yellowstone series. We've never seen them before, and so this is kind of unique and special for us. So we're watching them through on Amazon. And we just finished season 2 last night at time of recording. And one of the lines that I really loved that Kevin Costner said is he put one of his sons in a more authoritative position on the Yellowstone Ranch. And he tells his son, he asked his son something about taking their cattle to some field. And the son said, I don't think we should do that. I think we should do this other field, and for these reasons. And Kevin Costner's character agreed with him, and then the son kind of clued in on that was purposeful. You never wanted them in that field. You wanted them in the field I just said, right? And Kevin Costner's character said something, and then the son again said, that was a test, wasn't it? And Kevin Costner's character said, everything in life is a test, son. And there's wisdom in that, I think. Even though this character is not particularly a character of faith, I do agree with that mindset as a person of faith, as a Christ follower, that there are many things in this life that I think we play down too much. I think that there's too many things in this life that we ascribe innocence to it, even though there's no reason whatsoever why we should be. And what ends up happening is that allows in dangerous lines of thinking or an entry to be influenced in a negative way. Whether that be by powers that be, or by other people, or whatever it might be. And so I think that Halloween is one of those things. I think that Halloween, especially nowadays, gone are the days where we could ascribe or claim any form of innocence to it, I think, unless you and your family are doing like what my mom did for me, where it is innocent. There might be a little eeriness to it, but it's generally just more of a fun, jovial dress-up thing. I think gone are those days, with maybe a handful of exceptions to the rule, and I think that for the vast majority, it's so blatantly, obviously a harmful, negative thing that we need to kind of steer clear from it. If you do, awesome, and you agree with me, fantastic. If you don't, whatever. I'm not causing you harm by stating my opinion. I'm giving my opinion and describing what I do. So I think that that's pertinent, and especially now that by the time you guys see this, it will be October. I think that's something to keep in mind. And maybe give some validation to you guys who maybe feel the same way I do, or maybe you've matured to a point where now you're kind of understanding it's okay to kind of go against the norm and be all right with not celebrating Halloween. So, anyways, my dear friends, as always, thank you so incredibly much for joining me today. Guys, I'm going to rate the Wendy's chili a 7.5 out of 10. I am most certainly going to be getting some Wendy's chili again. It is sitting perfect right here. Not too spicy at all. I would actually say that the bullpen chili was a little bit more spicy than the Wendy's chili, and yet it was no less flavorful, which I'm very, very, very happy about. That was incredibly awesome. Very tasty, especially paired with those perfect French fries. Oh my word, that made me so ridiculously happy. I loved it. But now, you guys, I'm going to go run some errands. Please be sure to check out the links in the description box below. Link to my Twitch channel where I go live 3 days a week, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also, please be sure to check out my Cameo page. I continue to love and adore being able to take part in yours and your families and your loved ones' celebrations and make them extra special with a personalized video shout out from me. Please consider booking me on Cameo, as it continues to support me in the work that I do here on my YouTube channel as well as my Twitch channel. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and please be sure to share this video on all your social media. Love you guys very much. Have a beautiful weekend and week ahead of you. God bless. Do Widzenia.
I just want a great life, something